Economics, Standard 12, Unit 9, Fiscal Economics continued. Let us learn today budget. Budget is essential even for a small family. We make in a family monthly budget. That is, it includes the total income and total expenditure too. So a monthly budget just formed by a family really helps to run the family in a smooth way. Then think of a country like India. So budget is necessary for the countries too. And the word budget is said to have its origin from the French word bouquet. So the word budget is said to have its origin from the French word bouquet, which means a small leather bag. A small leather bag. Then what is a budget? The budget is an annual financial statement which shows the what is called estimated income and expenditure, which shows the estimated income and expenditure of the government for the forthcoming financial year. It is a document containing a preliminary approved plan of public revenue and expenditure. It is a document containing a preliminary approved plan of public revenue and expenditure. As India is a federal economy, public budget is divided into two layers, namely central government budget and state government budget. Central government budget is said to be union budget, and it is according to the Indian Constitution. The central government has to submit annual financial statement, that is union budget. So central government. So one is central government, the other state government. So under central government, the budget is presented as union budget. According to the article, so according to the Constitution article, the budget is presented by the central government, and according to the article of 112 to the parliament. So the central government presents the annual financial budget in the parliament, whereas state government has got its own budget known as state budget. So state government budget. So state budget. And it is just also carried out according to the article 202. Article number 202. State government has to submit its budget in the Legislative Assembly. Legislative Assembly. So remember, there are two layers of submitting of budgets by central government and state government. So state government just submits its budget, annual financial budget, in the Legislative Assembly, but whereas central government states its annual financial budget in the parliament. And of course, there are types of budgets. On the basis of expenditure on revenue account and other accounts, budget can be just presented in two ways, namely revenue budget and capital budget. So what is revenue budget? It consists of revenue receipts and revenue expenditure. Moreover, the revenue receipts can be categorized into tax revenue receipts and non-tax revenue receipts. Revenue expenditure can also be categorized into planned revenue expenditure and non-planned revenue expenditure. Capital budget. It consists of capital receipts and capital expenditure. In this case, the main sources of capital receipts are loans, advances, etc. The other capital expenditure can be categorized into planned capital expenditure and non-planned capital expenditure. So now we have seen the revenue budget and capital budget. And of course, there are the other budgets, namely supplementary budget. And supplementary budget is nothing but during the time of war emergencies and natural calamities like tsunami or a flood and so on. The expenditure allotted in the budget provisions are not always enough. Under these circumstances, a supplementary budget can be presented by the government to tackle these unforeseen events. To tackle these unforeseen events, a supplementary budget can be presented by the government. The fourth important type of budget is known as vote on account. Under Article 116 of the Indian Constitution, the budget can be presented in the middle of the year. The reason may be political in nature. The existing government may or may not continue for the year on account of the fact that elections are due. Then the government places a lame duck budget. This is also called vote on account budget. So the fourth important one is vote on account. On account. The vote on account budget is a special provision by which the government gets permission from the parliament to incur expenditures on necessary items till the budget is finally passed in the parliament. The legal permission of both the houses of the parliament for the withdrawal of money from the Consolidated Fund of India to meet the requisite expenses till the budget is finally approved is known as vote on account budget. This type of budget is generally sanctioned for not more than 2 months. So vote on account budget is generally sanctioned for not more than 2 months. The another important type of budget is zero-based budget. So the fifth one, zero-based. The government of India presented zero-based budget for the first time in 1987 to 88. It involves fresh evaluation of expenditures in the government budget, assuming it as a new item. So it involves fresh evaluation of expenditures in the government budget, assuming it as a new item. The review has been made to provide justification or otherwise for the project as a whole. That is, for the project as a whole in the light of the socio-economic objectives which have been already set up for the project and or as well as in view of the practices of the or in view of the priorities of the society. So that's called zero-based budget. So the zero-based budget means fresh evaluation of expenditure in the government budget, that is assuming it as a new item. And the sixth important type of budget is performance budget. So sixth one is performance budget. From the word performance, we can easily understand that, the outcome of any activities taken as the base of any budget is known as performance budget. And for the first time in the world, the performance budget was made in USA. And the Administrative Reforms Commission was set up in 1949 in America under Sir Hooper Commission. And this commission recommended making of a performance budget in USA. In the performance budget, it is the compulsion of the government to tell what is done, how much done for the betterment of the people. So in the performance budget, it is the compulsion of the government to tell what is done and how much is done for the betterment of the people. In India, the performance budget is also known as outcome budget. In India, the performance budget is also known as outcome budget. Besides all these types of budgets, there are two other important types of budgets known as balanced budget versus unbalanced budget. So what is balanced budget? Balanced budget is a situation in which estimated revenue of the government during the year is equal to the anticipated expenditure. So estimated revenue during the year is equal to anticipated expenditure in a government is known as balanced budget. So seventh, balanced. And eighth, unbalanced budget. Unbalanced. So just opposite. Opposite of balanced budget is unbalanced budget. The budget in which revenue is expenditure are not equal. Revenue and expenditure are not equal to each other is known as unbalanced budget. So expenditure and revenue are not equal to each other. Under unbalanced budget, there are two types. One is surplus budget. So unbalanced surplus. And another is deficit. So surplus budget and deficit budget. The budget is a surplus budget when the estimated revenue of the year is greater than anticipated expenditure. So the surplus budget means when the estimated revenue is greater than anticipated expenditure in a year is known as surplus budget. And deficit budget is just whereas the estimated government expenditures are higher than, more than the expected revenue. So the expected revenue is less than the estimated expenditure of the government is known as deficit. And we have just now learned the different types of budgets, namely revenue budget, capital budget, supplementary budget, vote on account, zero base, performance, balanced budget and unbalanced budget. There are two types, surplus budget and deficit budget. Thank you for listening.